Worse.
Yeah? How?
Could have been me. We got enough left for a toast?
Sure. What do we drink to?
How about the kiss you're about to give me?
I'll drink to that. Mr. Freeze?
You, fruitcake! No pets allowed!
Which one of you is Barbara Gordon? Him.
Please, no! Get him off! Get him off!
I'll ask again. Which one of you is Barbara Gordon?
Barbara, no!
I am. Let him go.
Come with me. Ochka, don't let her go.
Stop it! I'll come with you. Just don't hurt him.
Shaka, come!
Here, take my Corvette.
Who are you?
I'm a doctor. Keep still.
Where am I?
Take these. You'll feel better. Hey!
Why'd you kidnap me?
Silence! Do as you're told. Take them.
Victor, no! Miss Gordon obviously prefers not to take any medication right now. Why don't we give her some time to herself?
I want to know what's going on here.
I want checkpoints on a 20-mile radius at I-13, I-54, and out to Route 27. Choppers in the air with infrared scopes, and a door-to-door search of every possible hideout within 50 miles. Montoya, set up a command post in the operations room.
Right.
Did you get a rundown on the license plate?
It's a stolen van. They found it ditched in Briscoe Canyon about an hour ago.
All right. That's pretty rugged terrain. They can't have gotten too far if they're on foot. Set up checkpoints at a 20-mile radius and search every inch all the way down to the ocean. Come on, people. A guy in a weird suit with 2 polar bears can't be hard to spot. I want my daughter found, and I want her found now.
Don't worry, sir. We're on it.
Then why are you still standing here talking to me?
Come on, let's move out.
Dick, you okay?
I'm sorry, Commissioner. I tried to stop him.
I know. When I get my hands on this guy,
Jim, why would Freeze want Barbara?
I don't know.
And how did he know she was at that nightclub?
Her roommate said someone called from the hospital with an emergency. Barbara's listed as a blood donor.
Did she get a name?
No, the guy hung up on her.
Get a hold of the phone records and see if you can trace that call.
Commissioner, the rest of the witnesses are in interrogation.
On my way. Dick, thanks again for trying to save her.
Mr. Grayson, what is your blood type?
O positive?
I need to get you down to X-ray. You wait here, I'll get a wheelchair.
Shut the door.
Does it say who accessed her file?
No. She has a rare blood type. Not many others on the list. Wait a minute. Look at this.
Nora Freeze?
Victor Freeze's wife.
She's over the next room. She's headed towards the northwest corner.
Get away from her.
You get away from me!
Give it up, Barbara. There's no place to run. Everybody just calm down.
No, you calm down. I want to know what I'm doing here.
I'm Dr. Gregory Belson. That's Victor Freeze.
I know who he is. Everyone in Gotham knows you. And I know who that is, too. I thought your wife was dead.
She will be dead if you don't help her.
That's what this is about, isn't it? It's about her.
She needs an operation that requires a transfusion. You're one of the few people with her rare blood type.
Uh-huh. So why here? She should be in a hospital.
No hospitals and no more questions.
Victor! You wouldn't let her die, would you?
Listen, you kidnap me, then expect me to cooperate? I'll help her, but not here. Not this way.
Enough talk.
Victor, no! Don't
dinner. Who are you?
But it turned out that when using the same measurement standard,
The D-Rex,
Finally here. After months of waiting, we finally have ourselves the very first trailer for the 3rd season of Prehistoric Planet. And what can I say, this thing looks beautiful.
What is up, my Ammonites? It's your boy, Young Guy, and welcome back to another React. I know it's been a pretty good minute since I actually... Well, yeah, sorry I'm a little bit unprepared as of late. I'm actually been doing a lot of things IRL, and in fact, I'm actually making plans to upgrade my PC for more RAM and storage, among a few other things, so we can actually have a little bit more fun together. So let's see who's all here tonight. Hello, Raptor. How's it going? Welcome to the stream, Ammonites. Let's see. Hold on a second. Is anyone on Twitch? It looks like a no. Twitch never watches. Oh well, at least YouTube is loyal to me. But, yeah. Looks like you evolving? Yep, pretty much. And I've also been kind of daydreaming about a second channel, which is probably more D&D related and, you know, talking about a few other things here and there, but as of right now, I'm not even in the starting stages yet. It'll probably be more like a journal entry sort of thing in D&D. I'm not quite sure how that's gonna play out yet, but regardless, with all the upgrades going on, all the chaos that I'm dealing with as of late, aside from, let's see, yeah, it's been quite a bit. But yeah, that's... Ever thought about giving Spyro his own channel? Nah, he's kind of doing his own thing, if I'm gonna be honest. Not too many Spyro-related things, if I'm gonna be frank. Although, he might be reacting to a couple things here and there. Not to worry, I did not neglect him by any means. Yeah, it's just a lot of... Yeah, I really wish I had actual mods. That would be very, very helpful, because this way I actually legitimately know who's watching and who's gonna be, you know, who's watching, who wants what. You know how it is. It's kind of hard when you're just talking to yourself almost all the time. How's your Poseidon Hydra coming on? You know, the video is actually out right now, so if you're free to check that out, then yeah, check it. Yeah, it's out right now. Yeah, I'm not sure who missed what, but hold on. It should be out right now. Let's see. Hang on, I'm gonna check real quick. Alright, videos. Alright, that's the whole franchise. Scroll, creepy grabber, da-da-da. Aha! Yep. About 4 weeks ago. Yeah, I'm still waiting for that other challenger that's been, giving me the... Yeah, that's the kind of thing I've been, wondering when Night Challenger is gonna try to take on the seas. But I suppose it probably will be never. I mean, it wouldn't really matter to me if I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I've dealt with... Yeah, whatever he's thrown at me, I've already got an answer for it. Let's see here. Yes. Out of curiosity, Mio made another hybrid by using mongoose DNA. What kind of abilities will this hybrid... Well, I mostly made that hybrid to be a little bit more agile. I mean, it's also got a lot of bat DNA as well, and a bit of Smilodon as well. I think I may have added rodent somewhere to strengthen the fangs and help them regrow. But it's kind of it's kind of a small game killer, if you... I mean, it's probably not much bigger than anything... bigger than a typical tiger would be. It's basically a tiger with saber teeth and that can fly, essentially. If you want me to make that video, I guess I can do that at some point. But in the meantime, though, yeah, I'm just looking around to see if there's anything interesting, 'cause I know you guys want more content, and I know it's steadily growing. Just wish it could grow a little bit much. Honey badger DNA given some strong immune systems. That would actually be where rat DNA comes in. 'Cause if you know rats, they've got a special kind of strong immune system. I might also add a possum, just for the lulz. And also, bats already have strong immune systems as well. They're carriers of various diseases. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just checking out the content that we might want to watch together. Yeah, yeah, just making a lot of big plans and have no idea about the present. Or even the future. There are a lot of things that I still want to do. But with all the chaos that's been going on lately, it's kind of hard to keep up with it all sometimes. I mean, you got the computer that wants to be upgraded, and you got athletic things that you're doing outside of the internet. 'Cause yes, I do work out. I'm actually an elite athlete. Everyone's still wanting a piece with me some reason. I guess they want that extra fish. Besides clean chowhounds. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, let's see. Let's go ahead and get started on a few contents right here. Alright. Let me just do a little quick intro right here. What is up, my Ammonites? It's your boy Yin Guy, and welcome back to another live react! And I've been stumbling upon this, and this strange trailer is actually called Jurassic Primal: The Rage of the Jurassic World? And it's made by Chimera Studios. Huh. Not sure what it is, but based on what I'm looking at here, I think it's probably the first time we've actually seen a dinosaur anime. Since Dinosaur King. I don't know of any others, but this is something unique. But anyway, without further ado, let's take a deep dive into this, shall we? And as always, be sure to like and all that jazz. And without further ado, let's get into it! Oh, that's a Uterranus! Is that a Troodon? Whoa! Yeah, it's dead. Galleys or Struthy? Whoa! Okay, is that supposed to be a Quetzal? Oh, what are we? Allosaurus? Whoa! Okay. Whoa! Okay. What is that? Well, that boat is dead. Wait, is that a Spina? That's a Suchomime! Wait, hold on. Was that a Protocer? I think that was supposed to be a What is that? That is the weirdest Parasaurolophus I have ever seen! I mean, the crest seems all wrong. Is this made by AI? I feel like this is made by AI. And that, okay, anyway, moving on. That's definitely, I know what that, dead! They're both dead. They get, what is, wait. What kind of wings are those? I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be 2 wings. Looks like a giant sail. Chimera, what are you doing? Are you telling me that you used AI to make this? Okay, that's... Ceratosaurus, that's a Stegosaurus against the Allosaurus. Wait, how many spikes are there supposed to be here? Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. This anime is supposed to be a documentary, but I don't even know what this thing... Is that a mace tail? What kind of tail design is this? That is not what Oh, for crying out loud. What am I even looking at here? Is this? This is AI? This has gotta be AI generated. That is... I have a feeling this is just a combo... Is that supposed to be Spinosaurus? Okay, this is... Gotta be... Okay. Yep. I think you can definitely tell what my whole reaction is. Out of all the things I have watched, out of all the AIs that I've been hearing about, this one actually made me mad. The concept is cool, but This is all clearly AI made! That is so insulting! It's okay. It's fine. It's a cool concept. We can ignore it. We can pretend like it does not even exist. Don't even worry about it. Yeah, Sora app logo. Definitely AI garbage. Yeah, right? I mean, it's already... it was so cool at the beginning, but then it all started getting sloppy. Why can't we just... why can't we just be teams again and have passion, man? What happened to... what happened to handmade things? Come on now. Alright. It was Sora app logo. That's AI. Of course he is. Anyway, let's see what this... Oh yeah, that... Speaking of handmade, I actually got something right here that's you're probably wondering. Okay, let me cook with another intro. Okay. Yo, what is up, my Ammonites? It's your boy, Yin Guy. And I cannot believe I actually would even seen the day. For those that don't know, there actually used to be a show called Dino Riders. And it was made back in the old days, like in the 80s or something, long before my time. And apparently, the Dino Riders are somehow returning. So, if you want to see me react to the original TV show and perhaps a modern twist or somewhere down the line, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe, all that jazz, to become a lucky Ammonite today. And without further ado, links are in the description. Let's take a deep dive and stomp right in, shall we? Here we go.
Dinosaur toys are not traditionally articulated. You might get some arm or leg movement, the tail might move a bit, and if you're lucky, the mouth might open and close.
To be fair,
there weren't any toy lines that really had expressive
okay, that's a good looking Spino. Look at, the tail could be a little bit better looking, but it's all in all looking pretty good. And funny story, I was actually over at the museum the other day, and I actually saw a full-size skeleton of a Spinosaurus the other day. That's actually... yeah, I tell you, it is quite a sight.
Articulation for dinosaurs. That is, until David Silva entered the scene with a highly successful toy line called Beasts of the Mesozoic.
Oh, yeah, that I've seen sponsors of that. That's there's some high quality from what I hear.
How could you not be? The idea of titanic creatures that ruled the earth millions of years.
What in the... is that supposed to be a Dilophosaurus? It looks like Monolophosaurus, but it's... looks more like a carnivorous Pachycephalosaurus. What is that? Truly, Ammonites. Truly, we have really come a very, very long way. What even is this art?
Years ago is so sci-fi, but also completely
okay,
true.
this is looking
better. We can
better.
also point to Jurassic Park as a monument to the popularity of dinosaurs. That movie series and its toys have ingrained so many people with a deep love of dinosaurs. But the movie is also kind of a time
It's actually where I introduced the dinosaurs
like 30 years
since
ago.
I was but a little
boy.
boy.
Introduced new, more scientifically accurate dinosaurs over the series. The raptors still look inaccurate, as does the T-Rex and the Dilophosaurus.
It was accurate at the time. We had no idea that there would be any feathers involved until years later.
and many others. And at a certain point, the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park have become more like movie monsters. And I'm not knocking the series for this, by the way. I like the Jurassic Park dinosaurs just as much as I like the scientifically accurate ones. Though I
it's
think there
still
is something
awesome
to be
seeing
said
two
about the
monsters
general
clashing.
audiences
Look
that have latched onto.
Although the Spinosaurus fight is rather infamous, that actually got me mad.
The Jurassic Park depictions of dinos, and when scientific discoveries are made, like dinosaurs having feathers, they tend to be rejected by the public at first.
I mean, I didn't really see it that much. I mean, I was pretty open to it with Archaeopteryx. Let's see, prehistoric mammal having fur in media? Yeah, that's fine. Dinosaurs having feathers in media? Nah. Where is that? Where did this meme even come from, if I'm gonna be... Who is this man again? I have no idea. I keep seeing this meme all the time. And I have no idea where the source came from. Alright, anyway, moving on.
Thankfully, we now live in an era where scientifically accurate dinosaurs are celebrated and have become the selling points of other dinosaur franchises, like the Beasts of the Mesozoic.
Yeah,
toy
I mean,
line,
yeah, they're actually made cool.
Silva had worked at McFarlane and Hasbro, and at the time of the first wildly successful Beasts Kickstarter, he was working at NECA. He created the first Kickstarter, which was the Beasts of the Mesozoic Raptor series, because he had seen contemporaries like Four Horsemen and Boss Fight have success, and actually got advice from them on how to put together this Kickstarter. These first toys, the Raptor series, had two major things going for them that sold the idea to dinosaur and toy enthusiasts.
You know, I think it started easing, the feather thing started easing to it. I mean, one of the earliest depictions I can remember currently at the top of my head is when Beast Boy was talking to velociraptors from Teen Titans. Yes, there was actually an episode where there were dinosaurs. Anyway, moving on.
First was that the dinosaurs were as scientifically accurate as possible. These raptors have feathers, and lots of them. And back in 2016, when the Kickstarter began, I remember seeing these, and for the first time thinking that feathered dinosaurs can also be badass. The other big selling point is that these dinosaurs were actually posable. The level of articulation given to these toys was unheard of at the time. And even looking at them now, there's not many competitors that come to mind. But we'll talk about that later, don't worry. The Raptor series Kickstarter
okay, but what has this got to do with the Dino Riders? What about the Dino Riders?
Insanely cool dinosaur toys over the years. Eventually, he moved on to do the Ceratopsian series in 2019, featuring our favorite four-legged herbivores, which look just as amazing and articulated as the Raptors, and the Tyrannosaur series in 2021, which did catch some flack for its articulation, because the T-Rex really didn't have that much, especially compared to, like, the Raptor. I'm not sure why, but my best guess would be, like, stability for the toy. And while that is unfortunate, the toy is still immaculate. It's hard
still
to beat
cool.
the painting and sculpting.
Look at that design.
Not to mention they made a Dino Riders variant of the Rex, which blew my mind. In case you don't know, Dino Riders
I was
is
going
an
to say,
80s
where
about
are
two
we getting
sci-fi
to this?
factions that crash land on prehistoric Earth and use dinosaurs mixed with sci-fi technology to battle each other. Dino Riders is an often overlooked toy line, but it's incredibly important to the world of dinosaur toys, because they were not only cool as hell, but very scientifically accurate for the time, because the toy designers understood that kids were really tapped in, and wanted dinosaurs that looked right. The dinosaurs were so accurate that they were repackaged under a different name and sold at museums. So in a lot of ways, Beasts of the Mesozoic...
Oh, if only they knew that it would be a joke a few decades down the line. But yeah, this is a little bit of a pause here. If you want me to watch this series and maybe have a few laughs and make a few memes out of it, please leave your thoughts in the description down below. Also, by the way, I am also doing it live, so yeah, join me on Mondays and Fridays at 7. Let's go!
Zoic reminds me of a modern-day Dino Riders. And David Silva, being a fan of Dino Riders, must have felt the same way. Because in 2023, Creative Beast Studios launched
Okay, we're making dragons now.
A new line called Beasts of the Cyberzoic.
Ooh, look at that armor!
Scientifically accurate dinosaur toy concept, and rapidly expanded it by adding armor units and action.
Okay, yeah, look at that battle armor. It's almost like Gundam on it. Look at that. The only thing missing are maybe a few lightsaber claws. Would that be too much? Probably. Is that idea awesome? Definitely.
Action figures to ride the dinosaurs, as well as adding just straight up freaking dragons. Like, oh my god, this dragon is so badass.
I noticed the dragons too!
Okay, I've gotten ahead of myself, but to be fair, that's what an articulated dragon does.
I mean, the wing, I don't know what those are. I mean, those clearly don't look anything like wings, but that does, look at it, guys! It's a freaking dragon!
Does to a man. This video is actually sponsored by Creative Beast Studios, because they graciously sent me one of their Cyberzoic figure sets, which includes a dinosaur.
Ooh, look at you! I don't even know. I don't know what you're definitely kaiju, some type of kaiju. Look at that set. What is that? What is that even supposed to be? It's like, you kind of remind me of Destroyer. Yeah, the horn is right there. The only thing missing are the wings, and I mean, if you look at the chest area, you can even see there's a chest spike somewhere there. The resemblance is there. I mean, maybe it was inspired, but can't deny it's there.
Action figure and armor unit. Now, I'm still gonna be honest about my opinions on the toy. The Creative Beasts haven't bought my soul yet. Send over that dragon, and I might be willing to sell. The Cyberzoic Kickstarter.
Okay, they even put cannons on a Sabertooth. I don't know if you can even put cannons on a regular tiger, but putting cannons on a Sabertooth is awesome. Hashtag Dino Riders. Let's go!
It was such a wild success that every stretch goal was hit, and in addition to the first 3 sets that were announced with the project, 8 additional sets with
Arctic
new dinosaurs,
Dragon.
armor units.
Okay, so we have a name for this thing. Hold on, let's back up just a tiny
and in addition
bit,
to the first 3 sets that were announced with the project, 8 additional.
Okay, Arctic Dragon. Kuradkami. Okay. That's interesting.
Sets with new dinosaurs, armor units, and action figures were unlocked. And god, they are all so cool. I had the choice of 2 sets that I could ask for, and I was very tempted by the Aquila Baiter, who has a very vulture look, which I really like. And its armor
really does
unit transform.
Oh, what am I looking at here? Okay, hold on. Oh, what? Let me cook. What is?
And I was very tempted by the Aquila Baiter, who has a very.
I can totally see this as being a YouTube Raptor in IRL. But what
vulture look, which I really like.
Yeah. Okay. This has got to be something off of Power Rangers or something. I mean, maybe a hint of Berserk somewhere? I don't know. Those the eyeballs are throwing me off. What? There's a hint of, maybe a hint of Skeletor somewhere? I don't know. That guy definitely looks like a mix of Mortal Kombat X Power Rangers something. No, wait, no. No. That's Shredder. That looks like Shredder without the blades. I mean, look at it. It's completely covered. The armor is very agile. There are even wrist blades by the looks of it. This is definitely Shredder.
Armor unit transforms from a visceral metal hound into armor for the dinosaur. That's right, the armor actually converts into a robot dog thing. We're talking Transformers that are not Transformers, baby. Even though I was very drawn to the
Hasbro, eat your hearts out!
Boy, the Allosaurus, which comes with a hover tank that again transforms into armor for the dinosaur, and the pilot named Argentus. But before we get into the toy, if you're enjoying the video, please consider liking and subscribing.
And also watch this this reaction too, so that helps.
It helps me against a foe even more ancient than the dinosaurs, Algae Rhythm. Okay, first the packaging looks very nice, and does a great job of displaying the figures. I can't imagine there's many in-box collectors for this line, but if you are, it's a nice one to keep in box.
Can we see a TV show based off of this, please?
Allosaurus. I've always thought
I love to star in this. I'll voice it. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll do my own stunts if I have to.
Allosaurus just feels low-key evil. But anyway, back to the toy.
I mean, it's already a cool...
So I noticed small text on the instructions advising to heat up the tail to plug it in more easily. I didn't really know how to do that. I assume a hairdryer would work, but I don't own one. So I just dipped it in a cup of hot water, and eventually it plugged in, I think. I didn't hear a pop, but the tail stays in place and articulates, so I'm assuming we're good. The dinosaur also comes with a little modular
I think you got it upside down.
Though I have to say the dinosaur does a great job of standing on its own. I was afraid that wouldn't be the case, because just physically, dinosaurs tend to have their heaviest parts, their midsection and head, towards the front of their body, and while in real life they were able to balance with their tail, it's hard to translate that balancing act into a plastic toy.
Actually, sorry, never mind. I thought the tail was upside down. I guess you got it.
Boy, but they accomplished that in my opinion.
Kind of a weird
Outside
paint
of
job,
super
if I'm gonna
dynamic poses,
say.
you can very easily pose your dino without the stand. The sculpting on this figure is immaculate. This is truly what dinosaur fans are buying these figures
Oh,
for.
yeah.
And for myself, the texturing is just so pleasing to touch and feel. The face sculpt is incredible. He's got lips over his teeth, which I like. Ever since I heard the theory of lipped dinosaurs, I really can't stand the goof.
Yeah, it's definitely... Yeah, the lips are definitely not canine-based. You know... We can actually laugh about how old paintings are like back when prehistory was not as accurate as today is. But I gotta say, one thing they did right was they actually did have lizard-like lips. I think they had it right all along. And I think the only reason the Jurassic Park series actually had those teeth exposed is, I guess, for dramatic effect. I mean, it sold a lot of tickets. It made history.
Look some dinosaurs have, with teeth jutting out of their closed mouths. The head crest on the Allosaurus is really lovely. His mouth can open to a certain point, and you can make it even wider by pushing it under this neck plastic.
Look at that.
Because it's only there to make the rest of the head look good.
Look at that.
Damn, does it look good. The articulation is phenomenal. Well, phenomenal for a dinosaur toy. He's not pulling SH Figuarts level posing, but the parts you think would move do, and some even move more than you think. He can turn his midsection one click left or right, and you can fully turn his head from side to side. The tail has 3 cuts with a ball
could
joint
see
at the
so
base
much
of each
stop
cut,
motion
and the last tail
animation
section
somewhere
has a bending
from
wire
this.
so you can pose the tail how you please. I would recommend holding one finger at the base of the tail and using your other hand to move it, because just trying to bend it with one hand felt like I was pushing the ball joints of the other tail sections too much. Before we move on to the actual cyberzoic components, I do want to mention some criticism of the
Is that what we're naming it now? Cyberzoic, or is that the company?
I've heard. Mainly that the cyberzoic components like the armor and action figure come sold separately. And I guess I can kinda see the criticism. People feel like the company is nickel and diming you for the whole experience. But I think it's important to remember that the company got their notoriety for realistic,
Dragon Slayer,
dinosaurs specifically.
Mount,
and I'm sure a lot of their fan base is just wholesale uninterested in the cyberzoic concept. While the dinosaurs do carry the cyberzoic name on their boxes, they are more or less exactly the same as Mesozoic Cyberzoic dinosaurs. And this line is mostly, in my opinion, a way to make more dinosaurs, enticing some people into the line with armor and action figures. Speaking of which, I got the Argentus action figure, and I think he's pretty cool. He's 3 3/4 inch, roughly G.I. Joe size. He comes with a masked and unmasked head. Swapping them was a pain in the ass. I was seriously afraid of breaking the ball joint, and the helmeted head kept popping off, but eventually I got it to stay. He also has removable hands, which were also a pain to switch out, especially...
I'm honestly not a big fan of removable parts on my figures, if I'm gonna be honest, but it's pretty cool nonetheless.
Because he has knuckle dusters, and they hurt my fingies when I had to push the hands in. Those issues aside,
see the dents.
This dude looks cool. A little bit Fortnite coded in my
Whoa!
opinion, but his swords
Where
are
did
really
that
sick,
banana
and I
come
like that
from?
his backpack can store them. I also like that he has 2 little toes on his feet. He feels like a cybernetic ninja warrior. He comes with a card for the new Zoic card game, which is actually how I ended up working with Creative Beast
Collectibles!
Because I saw they were making a new card game focused around dinosaurs, which I love because I feel like there should already be one. I had the Dinosaur King cards back in the day, and I thought they were awesome.
Hashtag First Dino Anime.
This new card game is simply called Zoic, and it features Mesozoic and Cyberzoic beasts in the game. I was supposed to advertise the Kickstarter in this video, but it's already over and successful.
Okay, let's see. T-Rex versus Dragon. I did not... Where is that in my bingo card in this video? I mean, we've seen an Arctic dragon. We've seen the thing looks like a basilisk mixed with a flying lizard. Who would have expected that I'd actually see this today?
Successfully funded, which is awesome. And I think including Zoic cards in the new releases is smart, but I hope this isn't what most of the cards
That's a durable card!
It's just stat information on the character or item, and at the very bottom...
Okay, let's see. Archandius Ross, Class Tech Knight Leader. Skills, abilities, physical abilities, military strategist, wildlife expert, Silver Slash. Oh!
Bottom is an ability, which is almost the exact opposite of what you want in a card game. A good card should be 90% game information and 10% or less
Ooh! Okay, a lizard dragon! I was actually just wondering what that was supposed to be. A lizard dragon. Wonder if it shoots poison.
flavor text. I'm interested to see how Zoic comes out, and I look forward to watching booster box openings on YouTube. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the Converting Dragon Slayer armor unit. Now, since the armor comes packed separately, Creative Beast Studios gave each unit a little bit of a transforming element. While the Razor Hound I talked about earlier fully transforms, the Dragon Slayer is what us Transformers fans call a parts former, meaning you have to take the whole thing apart and reconfigure it into armor. Before we do that, I will say the hover tank mode
where are
the
the
unit
instructions
does
for
look
that?
pretty cool. I like the whites and orangey yellow clear plastic. It feels awful to hold though. The whole thing comes apart so it doesn't feel solid at all, and the pieces don't have strong enough connection points to hold on. Getting Argentus to sit in the damn thing was a nightmare. You have to snake his legs through a whole bunch of pieces and plug his feet into these little pedals. It sucks, and pieces are constantly falling off or coming loose. Converting the hover tank into armor was so stressful. I will give the company credit. They provided instructions
I can totally see why no one would want to buy
I really
this.
struggled to read them, and some of the instructions are bizarre. Like, it wanted me to put the foot pedals in this cavity of the bike for storage, and there are 2 little slots, but there's absolutely nothing to plug them into. How are they supposed to stay put?
Looks like
Hopes
a
and dreams?
mess.
The worst part came when I had to remove the back piece of the tank. I just could not get any clearance for it at all, and while struggling to get it off, it snapped clean in half, launching one piece across the room. Unfortunately, this is a fairly important piece of the armor, as it's meant to connect the main body to the head unit. I think the piece was so hard to remove because all this stuff is painted, and maybe the paint dried and stuck to the other piece of armor, because it was giving me no clearance whatsoever, and I literally didn't feel any give until it just snapped. I took the rest of the hover tank apart and put the armor pieces on. The leg and tail pieces snapped on fine, though it was a little scary to flex the plastic after that breakage. The main saddle unit is attached to the body with a heavy heavy plastic strap. Getting the unit strapped to the
Even the
body was not
dinosaur's
the
like,
easiest
kill
thing.
me, I
Instructions
don't want
tell
to
you
wear
put it
this
more towards
thing.
the front of the body and slide it back, which did work for me. I will say that this piece was rock solid on the figure, and I had no issues of popping it off. And it was actually pretty difficult to get it off, but not too bad. The helmet is another issue. It splits in half for vehicle mode, but it doesn't want to click together towards the front where the horns are supposed to connect, giving it an ugly, obvious crease, and falling apart so easily. Like I said, the part that broke was
it
kind
looks
of
like it's
important.
gonna
It's supposed
split
to
in
connect
half
the head
in just
and body armor,
in just
and I really
one
tried
tap.
to get the two broken pieces to fit, but it was just not working. And to be honest, the set made me incredibly frustrated. Here's what I was able to put together, but it just doesn't look good without some of the pieces in my opinion.
Yeah.
Let's get into my final thoughts on the product. The dinosaur is absolutely incredible. An awesome toy
Yeah,
with amazing
leave-
articulation,
yeah, leave
sculpting,
the-
and paint.
leave the
This
armor
thing
out of
exceeded my
it.
expectations. And I'm sure the price is a big turnoff for some. It certainly is for me. But it's
Ooh.
hard to deny the absolute level of quality
130
you're getting in this toy.
Oof.
For more casual dinosaur fans, I think
Ooh,
Hammond collections
that's
will do
Orna
just fine.
Spino.
But if you're a proper paleo head, beasts of the Mesozoic and Cyberzoic are essentially the masterpiece transformers of dinosaurs. The Argentus action
Okay.
figure is fine. I do like that he's 3 3/4 inch, as that's my preferred action figure scale, and I think the painting and sculpting is good. But for a character who has little to no background lore, it's hard to recommend for $30. And I just full on have to say I do not recommend the armor unit, which is not even close to worth $50
Yeah,
to me.
no
I see what the
armor.
creative beasts
No
are trying to
armor.
do. They're adding value to the
Dinosaurs
separate
are
armor
yeah,
units by
armor
giving
like
them
that.
vehicle modes.
The
Which I think
dinos
is
deserve
clever,
better
but it also
armor than
really
that.
feels like they were not prepared to design a toy like this, and it is rough. As someone who has been playing with transforming toys for as long as I can remember,
I played with a few Transformers figures myself, but yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that this video did not represent any Dino Riders, but who knows? Maybe some studio might actually get the idea. But anyway, Ammonites, if you enjoyed this reaction video, be sure to like, subscribe if you want me to look for and watch the full series of Dino Riders. Alright. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and click off and... Oh! Film Core is at it again. And let's see. I put a real T-Rex in Jurassic Park. What's happened, Film Core? What did you do? Okay, alright, I guess we're going to find out. Let's jump into it.
Brought to you by War Thunder.
War Thunder!
It's Grizzly, my scientifically accurate T-Rex.
Whoa!
And this is an island off the coast of Costa Rica. And we're here to see
along with a few others.
T-Rex could survive Jurassic Park. First off, let's
I think he can.
The year is 1993. John Hammond invites a group of scientists to visit his latest corporate endeavor and give their approval. A theme park where, through cloning and gene splicing, they brought dinosaurs back to life. But this goes awry when a disgruntled employee sabotages
Damn
the
you,
park
you
and the
fat
dinosaurs
bastard,
are loose.
Nedry!
But John Hammond and InGen had managed to resurrect one more dinosaur that wasn't included in the movie. What if they were able to bring back to life a 100% genetically pure and accurate Tyrannosaurus Rex, just as it was when it lived 66 million years ago?
Yeah, you remember watching we remember the accurate fight of what it was like. Not as much roaring, but more of a standoff kind of fight. But I'm actually imagining what would happen if you guys put if there's a scientifically accurate dromaeosaur in Jurassic Park. I mean, we've seen feathers on that Pyroraptor, but what happens when we see a scientifically accurate Velociraptor? Or a scientifically accurate Deinonychus? Or Utahraptor? Or maybe even Megaraptor? I know that's not a dromaeosaur, but my god, that would be one hell of an introduction.
And what if it was present during this
Yep,
incident.
and oh!
What happened and how
Oh,
it
look at
fared
that!
against all the other dinosaurs of Isla Nublar. The first thing to address is that there's an obvious difference in behavior and temperament between wild animals and those raised in captivity.
Woo!
To really show the difference between an accurate T-Rex and those resurrected by InGen, we're going to assume that Grizzly was brought back with both
Grizzly
genetic memory as well as its experiences from its life 66 million years ago. Something much more akin to time travel as opposed to the genetic engineering we see in the movies, which is where we need to start.
Look at that man! He's so buff! Let it go, Didi. Oh! Hold on! What was that pose? Who is that? Oh, no! Oh, no!
Where would it be housed?
Oh! What are we looking at here? Is that Lady Sue that I spy here? What is this? Oh my! I never would have expected to see this today! Dinosaur! Wait, what kind of book are you reading? That better not be that Minotaur milking book! Yeah, don't think I haven't heard the news about that kind of degeneracy. Or is it? No, I am not. No, I'm not gonna go there. We all know that's a rabbit hole that we do not need to go down on this channel. You ladies out there, don't think I'm unaware. I've seen you. Oh, yeah, y'all are freaks out here. And this dinosaur is too. But I'm a bit of a freak too. Who am I kidding?
Could a Tyrannosaurus Rex not just survive, but in fact thrive in a 1993 Costa Rican island? Well, let's see what the science says.
Let's
T-Rex
do
lived
it,
across
science
western
man!
North America in a land known as Liramidia. This ranged from the northwest, which would see snow, to the east, which housed milder and more stable climates, to the southwest, which was shaped by volcanic activity.
And there's also... Wait, hold on, is that...
Looking slightly different and more stable climate.
That area looks pretty shallow. Okay. I'm thinking I'm smelling a bit of a land bridge here. There's a land bridge here. I think I smell a few tyrannosaurs coming on this part of the land. I'm smelling possibility here.
Climates to the southwest, which was shaped by volcanic activity, and the difference in climate might have led to T-Rex looking slightly different depending on where it lived.
Yeah.
If you brought back a T-Rex from the northwest,
we do have Tyrannus.
Climates, it might not be able to thrive as readily in Costa Rica as a T-Rex from a warmer climate. So a specimen from the east, which gives us not just the most stable known climate, but also the most studied and iconic T-Rex habitat, the Hell Creek Formation.
Yep, that's a very famous landmark.
Differences become readily apparent.
Whoa! Oh, wait, yeah, that was a cool one. I missed it. Oh, well. Yep, classics.
Costa Rica, where the movie takes place. Contrary to popular belief, T-Rex did not live in the jungle. Instead, the Hell Creek Formation was floodplain forests and swamps. And
I mean, it's not entirely wrong. I mean, floodplain, who's really gonna tell the difference between the untrained eye, if we're gonna be honest? I mean, the Amazon rainforest is a flooded forest, if we're gonna be honest. So it's basically an open forest that floods a lot, if we're gonna be honest. So it kind of works. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, a T-Rex, as long as it's the right temperature, it'd be fine.
And would have likely run a bit colder. However, as long as the conditions aren't deadly, animals can usually adapt to new environments and climates. So while it may need to stay in the shade or roll around in some mud to keep cool, it shouldn't be an unmanageable change. But weather aside, there is one large problem. Food.
Food.
Or the
Yep.
lack of it. If the park fails and no one is there to feed a captive T-Rex, is there enough food on Isla
Yeah,
Nublar
that's
for
gonna be a
T-Rex
bit of a
to feed
problem.
itself successfully? And this is one of the times where Jurassic Park directly inspired the science. In 1997, a very serious scientific study addressed this by calculating how many lawyers it would take to properly feed a T-Rex.
Lawyers? Oh! Oh, that is... Oh, no. How many... How many... They actually made a whole study of Here you go, Rex. Here's your daily lawyer. Oh no. Oh, I did not see that. Oh, okay. Okay, so, Rex, do you, eat that by the mouthful, or is that, do you just dip it in ranch? Oh, what a twist! I did not expect that. How many lawyers does it take to feed a T-Rex? Well, let's find out. A 1, crunch. A 2, crunch. We may never know.
And the conclusion was about 292 lawyers a year. However,
oh my god! Oh, I had no idea!
The largest and most robust T-Rex specimen ever found is estimated to weigh over twice that amount. So that figure becomes almost 600 lawyers.
We're seeing that scene all over again!
Every month. And this makes sense with the feeding habits of large predators, which typically will gorge themselves with a kill, then fast for weeks until they find their next meal. But this actually raises a problem, as there are simply no animals that are big enough in Costa Rica for T-Rex to bother hunting.
Except for other dinosaurs. They could breed a specific kind, like, oh, I don't know, a few hadrosaurs, maybe a small sauropod, a few hornless ceratopsians. It could be, I mean, there are options.
Meaning it would need to go hunting for the food it was bred to kill. Dinosaurs.
Exactly!
The
See?
first thing T-Rex would likely do is avoid the dinosaurs he doesn't know and could pose a significant threat.
Yep.
So off the bat, Brachiosaurus is safe for now. Sauropods were gone from North America by the time T-Rex showed up.
Not entirely, I would say. There are some theories that say there are titanosaurs, so there's possible similarity, just in a different form.
So it would have never encountered such a colossal animal. And while it definitely had the tools needed to attack, it would be easier to first find more familiar prey.
Makes sense.
Really
It could be a
Triceratops
scavenging
as the
opportunity, though.
only animal on Isla Nublar that T-Rex lived side by side with. But anyone who's watched the movies will know that the dinosaurs are imperfect clones. So would the Triceratops and Isla Nublar be similar enough to what T-Rex knew in the late Cretaceous for him to view them as prey? Well, for the most part, while it could be a little bit skinnier and less round, the Triceratops seen in Jurassic Park is still a pretty solid depiction of such an iconic animal. And its overall silhouette and appearance would be something that a T-Rex instinctually recognizes.
It could be basically seeing it as, oh, that's a fat trike. I'm gonna see how many. That's a lot of meat. I can last for days. Yum.
And would make it a perfect candidate for when T-Rex got hungry. A Gallimimus is also something that might be quite appetizing to a T-Rex. While Gallimimus was partying it up in Mongolia while T-Rex was alive, a very close relative, Ornithomimus, lived directly with T-Rex. The main difference was that Gallimimus was the bigger brother. and this increase in size
That just means
coupled
more
with a
food, more
visual
drumstick.
similarity, might make it an even more appetizing meal
Yeah,
for a T-Rex.
yep, food.
However, even an adult Gallimimus might still be too small of a meal for a fully grown adult to go after.
Yep,
Since
those are
Gallimimus
chicken
is a
nuggies.
more appropriate prey item for younger, smaller T-Rexes. But if Big Daddy is hungry enough, it would more than do. And this leaves only Parasaurolophus, which also matches an animal T-Rex hunted and lived alongside.
Edmontosaurus, yep.
Edmontosaurus. Both are hadrosaurs or duck-billed dinosaurs because they had a duck bill, and its smaller size
Oh,
might
surprise,
make it
surprise.
kill than Edmontosaurus, while being not
Ooh.
too different in caloric supply, which again might make it an even more appetizing meal for the king tyrant. But if there are only a handful of herbivores present,
Okay, let's see here. 2 Trikes, 6 Brax, 15 Paras, and 23 Gallus. Phew. See, this might be a bit of a problem. Unless you allow it to reproduce, Dr. Wu. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Doctor. That's not gonna last too long. Unless he may be the Brax might be something he might find appetizing if they're weak enough. But if he eats too many Paras, then it's gonna be a starving game for quite a while.
on the island, and T-Rex has to eat one large dinosaur per month, wouldn't T-Rex soon run out of
Yep.
food? Well, a major part of the movie and story is the folly of man trying to control nature.
That's
The animals
true.
have been bred female to prevent any unwanted reproduction.
But then there's the
Fails as
frog
frog
and
DNA
monitor
used to patch up the
DNA.
genome was from West African frogs.
Yep.
They can change their sex if in a single-sex environment, and this trait is passed on to the dinosaurs of Jurassic Park. So
The
does this mean
foolish
that
doctor.
The herbivores will soon multiply and give T-Rex an endless food supply.
That's
Well,
good.
it doesn't really
That's what we
matter if they
need.
multiply or not, as it would take far too long for any hatchling to reach sexual maturity and replace the losses that are rampaging T-Rex on the loose that views them as its
I mean,
only
that's
viable
gonna
food
be-
source
that's,
with
gonna
her.
be-
So the real question becomes, did InGen make enough clones outright to sustain an adult Tyrannosaurus
Good
Rex?
point.
Well, let's investigate. An animal will typically yield around half their body weight in food, so we can actually calculate how much food total these herbivores would produce and for how long. With 2 adult Triceratops, around 23 Gallimimus, and 15 Parasaurolophus,
Oof.
T-Rex would only have less than about a year and a half supply of viable dino meat, which means he would eventually need to turn his sight on the other inhabitants of Isla Nublar.
Okay.
The Brachiosaurus is many times larger than anything T-Rex ever encountered, and just like the modern giants of today, once they reach full size, sauropods will be rarely preyed upon. It's
True.
actually why they were one of, if not the most successful dinosaur groups of all time. Their sheer size alone made them incredibly formidable animals, and most carnivores opted for prey that didn't outweigh them by tenfold. But if T-Rex
I mean,
had no
that's
other
what we
options,
see in
he could
elephants
bring
and
down
lions.
the 50-foot giants. Well, you might want to first get some tips in war strategy by playing War Thunder, the most comprehensive vehicle
That's
combat
cool,
game
but
ever
we're
made.
skipping
When you
the
take
ad.
subscription,
A boom.
Comment to sign up. If you make a new account or haven't played in 6 months, you'll also receive a massive bonus pack with
America!
PC and console to give you a head start in the game. Besides 3 premium vehicles, you'll also receive a 50% experience and income booster to advance the individual now. So how could it bring down the 50-foot giants? It would have
I
to
mean,
circle in
naturally
on
you gotta go for the
individual
legs and
with
avoid that
weaknesses.
tail
In
if you
lieu of
can.
Juveniles, that would mean old age, illness, or injury. It would
There you
finally
go.
look for the
Weaker
weakest link and
individuals.
make that its target. In Jurassic Park, we see them in herds, which would complicate things as T-Rex would need to first create enough panic to get them to separate. It could then begin its attack. A fully grown T-Rex would likely hunt like a male lion or adult Komodo dragon.
Makes
as an
sense.
ambush and biting predator, inflicting enough damage on the flanks or legs of their prey in order not to kill them, but to simply immobilize them.
And
It
then
would
you eat 'em
feed
alive.
with the animal still alive. But I really want to emphasize that any one-on-one confrontation between these animals
it's one-sided
sauropod with any carnivorous dinosaur would likely first end with the carnivore disengaging, or if push comes to shove, with the sauropod winning outright.
Squish.
They were just too But let's say Grizzly is an absolute stud, gets lucky, and manages to bring it down. What would follow would be a seemingly endless feast. At 56 tons of pure meat, an adult Brachiosaurus could feed T-Rex for almost an entire year. In fact, if T-Rex somehow managed to become an expert at hunting sauropods, it could live a long happy life on Isla Nublar. But again, that's not really realistic. It would either result in a failed hunt where T-Rex
that's a very high gamble.
Suicide, and T-Rex was much smarter than that. So if it runs out of herbivores to hunt, could Dilophosaurus or Velociraptor end up on T-Rex's menu?
Probably.
Well, let's start with the undersized and wildly inaccurate
but it would have to be avoiding the spitting venom.
The real Dilophosaurus was actually the largest land animal in North America during its reign, being the same size as a polar bear, much bigger than the one seen in the movie.
You know, yeah, and in the novel, if I remember correctly, that is actually what we're supposed to actually see. None of the spitting venom. I have no idea where Spielberg got that idea from. Was it Michael that actually prompted him to do that? Was there even consent? I don't know. But it did make quite the iconic creature.
Which would be completely alien to a T-Rex. Not just because Dilophosaurus died out over 100 million years before T-Rex ever showed up, but because its frill and venom were a complete work of fiction, and there is no evidence for any venomous dinosaurs at all.
No venomous dinosaurs? I mean, there are some species that might be able to. I mean, I've only done a study on that once upon a time on one video in particular, but I wouldn't say there are any dinos that actually spit venom, but a venomous bite? Probably.
But we can draw some parallels to figure out how the fictional frill and its corrosive venom would fare against a king tyrant. We can see Dilophosaurus aiming for the eyes and face of Nedry,
naturally,
trying to blind and incapacitate its enemy, matching perfectly with how the spitting cobra uses its venom, which is intended as a deterrent against predators, not an effective hunting strategy. And this extends to its frill, which is based on that of the frilled lizard, which uses it for no defensive or offensive purpose other than to make itself appear larger and more imposing to deter potential predators or rivals, meaning that Dilophosaurus was simply protecting itself, and we can instantly see its limitations, as ultimately it's not something that Nedry isn't able to shrug off. It's not really
that fat bastard got his!
Attacks Nedry with its actual weapons, its hands and claws, that this animal becomes deadly. But its venom might not be as effective to the heavily keratinized and armored skin on a T-Rex's face. So while it could get a lucky shot or be enough of a nuisance to Grizzly for him to leave it alone, if Grizzly was hungry enough and they came to blows, the Dilophosaurus would be
that's a cool animation.
Now, even though we never see a bigger one in the flesh in the entire franchise, the one seen in the movie is meant to be a juvenile, and some retcons later on made it so there were a total of 5 Dilophosauruses on the island. But even if we use the packet given to the hunters in the Lost World to surmise the weight of an
I got height, 5 to 6 feet tall, length 20 feet long. Okay. 150 pounds? First we have the Titanosaur. And now it's confirmed this. Universal! What are you doing with the weight measurements, man? What? Seriously? 150 pounds? For a creature that's about the size of a polar bear? Come on now! At least do the the math right. I mean, I know you're trying to compensate for maybe a bird-like structure because of the hollow bones or something, and maybe the air sacs, granted. But 150 pounds for a 20-foot-long killing machine? I would have said at least 300 to 400 pounds, at least.
Adult, all 5 of them would not be grizzly for a week. But what about their much larger, oversized brothers? Well, Velociraptor was also partying it up in Mongolia a few years before T-Rex came to
the
be.
classic
But it
one.
might actually have been a close match to the only other predator living alongside T-Rex in Hell Creek, the Echiroraptor. And before you comment, Dakotaraptor probably wasn't a real thing, but the close match would not have been with a movie version.
I mean,
In
there
Jurassic
were
Park,
raptors,
the
so
Velociraptor was
there are no
actually
complaints
based on a
there.
bigger dromaeosaur known as Deinonychus,
On that.
but labeled Velociraptor by Michael Crichton as he thought the name sounded more fierce.
It
I have
really
to agree with
does.
him there, but for the
Okay, so, if you didn't know what a Velociraptor was, say Velociraptor for a minute. Okay, Velociraptor. Raptor. Ooh. Yeah, that sounds like you're sharpening a blade right there. That's a sword. Raptor. Velociraptor.
the movie, it was scaled up even further by Steven Spielberg to again make it more imposing. The real animal was about the size of a dog, just like a Echiroraptor. And although a Echiroraptor was overall larger and more robust, meaning it was probably tackling larger prey
But
items,
it was certainly no match for anything of the T-Rex's size.
Somewhat similar. However, the Echiroraptor actually was likely a killer of T-Rexes, but only juveniles.
But only
T-Rexes
juveniles.
were much different from their adult counterparts.
Breaking news! We have Nanotyrannus!
Video here, and as luck would have it, news just came out that Nanotyrannus was likely a real thing.
I saw this news.
Along with T-Rex, and actually, a lot of what I said about a Echiroraptor might be better suited to Nanotyrannus, as Nanotyrannus and the Velociraptors in Jurassic Park are a much more similar size. So just keep watching the video with that in mind. They have skulls, long limbs, somewhat proportional arms.
You know, since Nanotyrannus is actually confirmed, that actually begs the question. Are there actually other mid-sized tyrannosaurs of this scale that actually have long arms? What would you even call that? Ristosaurus? Scythosaurus Rex? I don't know. But that's a cool concept, not gonna lie.
And the light build, things that would suit it for an entirely different way of hunting and living than its eventual form, a way of living that would have put it into conflict with the only other predator of Western North America, as they would eventually reach a similar size and build, and therefore come to compete for the same resources. And this likely resulted in older, more experienced raptors getting the upper hand on the juveniles. But the Echiroraptor stayed the size of a dog, and T-Rex not so much.
Kept growing.
T-Rex seemed to have dominated the entire
moving up the food chain, as they say.
Was undoubtedly smart enough to avoid a fully grown T-Rex. After all, T-Rex were regularly fighting each other, and one bite from a T-Rex would inflict more damage than what even something like a Utahraptor could reliably do. So once again, Jurassic Park got it right. But just like with the Dilophosaurus, any energy lost by hunting the 3 Velociraptors would not be worth it, as at most, one adult Velociraptor would feed a T-Rex for less than 48 hours.
Yeah,
so
that's
Grizzly
a
would
light
undoubtedly
snack.
become the undisputed king of Isla Nublar. But unless he figures out how to hunt sauropods, it would be a short-lived reign, as it would soon succumb to starvation. But there actually is one other dinosaur that we're forgetting, and that's our favorite queen, Rexy.
Ooh, the rival.
And fully grown adult T-Rex react to the queen of the dinosaurs? Well, it depends on how hungry they both are. Since this is immediately following the events of the first movie, both T-Rexes still have an ample food supply and have been well fed up to this point. So they're not going to immediately start
that's
looking
just the
for
battle
another
of the
meal.
cannibals.
Instead, they would begin exploring and expanding their territory, which is what we see happen in the movie. Rexy notices the electrified fences are down.
Yep, and then she tears it
The
down
largest predator
and
on the
meets
island, it's
her
no
new
surprise she made
challenger.
it as far as the visitor center, and Grizzly would likely do the same. He would investigate the new smells and sounds he wasn't able to explore before, mark his new territory, and once it smelled Rexy, she might just get his attention. Now, just like with all the other dinosaurs in the franchise, how accurate Rexy is within canon to a real Tyrannosaurus Rex is a little up in the air.
Yeah,
So
Grizzly
the
is
accuracy
actually
of the ability
bulkier.
to see stationary objects is stated by Dr. Alan Grant as paleontological fact, not a result of its hybrid DNA.
That staying still would be a death sentence against Grizzly.
The frog's DNA is having on the dinosaur's genome. So to him at this time, this is still an accurate T-Rex. Furthermore,
I
whether
mean,
or not
it's
the lead of
not
Prologue
entirely
in Jurassic
wrong.
World Dominion, which
Yeah.
was meant to take place 66 million years ago, is canon or not, muddies the water a bit, as it features the Rexy design we all know and love with paleo-accurate feathers. But it also features a Giganotosaurus millions of years and thousands of miles away from where it should be. So it seems this is still meant to be an animal that should be somewhat indistinguishable from the real thing, which means Grizzly would likely still register it as such, and since it wouldn't be immediately starting for food, Grizzly might have another idea.
Uh-oh.
So what did T-Rex
The love
do?
story.
Well, off the bat, I'm sorry to say, but T-Rex and most theropods would not be trying to do any elaborate dances like birds of paradise.
Probably more like gator humming. A little bit more like a... also a little bit more, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit more like that. No bird songs, just gator growl.
These are simply not seen in reptiles or modern predatory birds, the two closest living relatives to T-Rex. But why? Simply because the females are much more concerned with how well they can hunt and not with how showy they are. So
yeah, makes sense, yeah.
Predatory bird courtship is much more focused on displays of flying and hunting ability. But this is so entrenched with flying, it's likely not the best analog for the...
No, there's no flight here, but...
Instead, crocodilians and monitor lizards might give us the best insight into how
yep,
T-Rex
see?
will be
I
trying
said
to
it.
rizz up the
Crocodilians.
muzzle. Crocodilians do this by producing deep bellows and sounds that can show their size and fitness to females.
Yep. A little bit of... Yep. I totally said it from the beginning. It would not be tweeting. It would be grrr.
Females. They might chase off rivals and try to engage in behavior that shows their strength and dominance. When a female is receptive, they then proceed to engage in surprisingly gentle facial and body contact.
Yeah.
And Komodo dragons will do something very similar. So a mixture of this is what Grizzly might do to try and impress Rexy. If in mating season and if receptive, which, let's be honest, who wouldn't be receptive to that?
I mean, he's a big boy. He's a strong man. Who wouldn't want a big, strong man?
But they're still on the clock to find food. And with two adults leading to
there's
each,
the food
and
problem.
Coming young, that means the available food source would whittle down even quicker.
Oh,
but
no.
could the unison actually help them with the problem?
Oh,
One
no.
hunting a Brachiosaurus might be suicide, but what about two of them? Could they not work together to bring down the much bigger prey? Modern media has reliably shown T-Rex as a social and at times family or pack hunting animal.
I mean, they would have to be if they want to bring one down.
More than one T-Rex specimen at a time, suggesting multiple individuals were living and dying together. But the science isn't.
I said in another video that was the case.
Predatory birds hunting together in the same place. But unlike lions or other mammals that can work together to subdue a larger individual,
I mean, if you're up against large game, you'd probably have to be social in some capacity.
And do not coordinate their attacks in any meaningful way. So if one T-Rex couldn't hunt down a Brachiosaurus, it seemed unlikely that they would try it as a team, much less as a family. So we and them are stuck in the same place.
Oh, no!
But Jurassic Park isn't just Isla Nublar. In fact, there are 5 other islands nearby.
Oh yeah, there's other islands.
Of which Isla Sorna, otherwise known as Side B, is only 140
There's
kilometers
Site C,
away.
too.
And any fan will know that Site B is not only where they keep all the top secret dinos, but where they've been let loose and are thriving in large numbers across the island.
And Site C houses a couple abominations. No spoilers or anything, but yeah, if you've seen the movie, then you know.
Is there any chance that Isla Sorna could be the saving grace for soon-to-be starving T-Rexes? Well, T-Rex had an incredible sense of smell, which we're able to tell from its large nasal cavity and huge olfactory
good
bulb.
vision too.
This, coupled with its excellent vision, made it a skillful hunter and predator that was able to detect prey from several kilometers away. However, even if we're generous and give its senses comparable or greater than those of the best modern predators, at most it might be able to detect the general coastline and shore if wind conditions were perfect, but not individual dinosaurs. It wouldn't be able to know prey was across the water. But let's say it was starving and the thought entered its head. Could a T-Rex make the swim? Well, Komodo dragons are known for being very capable swimmers, swimming to new islands when food and resources on their home island become scarce. Their long, large bodies filled with air allow them to easily float, and their limbs
and hollow bones too would work for a T-Rex.
And T-Rex was no different. Studies have looked at the body plan of T-Rex and concluded that floating and swimming would have been no problem. Its long, strong legs would be great for propelling itself. But monitor lizards are known for swimming hundreds of meters at a time, maybe a few kilometers at most, and this applies to most terrestrial predators. The only land predator that has been recorded swimming tens to hundreds of kilometers at a time is the
polar bear,
an animal adapted to hunting marine life, unlike T-Rex.
And it's classified as a marine mammal, actually.
It's simply not believable that T-Rex could manage a 100+ kilometer swim. So is it truly over for T-Rex? Realistically, yes. Unable to detect appropriate prey on the neighboring islands, coupled with an inability to make such a long swim, would mean that T-Rex has to resign to its fate. It will likely perish trying to hunt a Brachiosaurus or end up cannibalizing its family and eventually succumbing to starvation. But just like nature seldom is, that's no fun. And although this would be really impossible, there is a scenario where T-Rex can make the swim. But I want to make sure that everyone knows this is the 1 in a million scenario and in no way realistic. It's like planning to get rich by winning the Powerball. It would rely on a miracle, with everything that could possibly go right going incredibly right. But nature can always be surprising. So this is how it could play out. T-Rex has caused a near extinction on Isla Nublar. Driven by hunger, it starts to scout the coast, its nose getting a whiff of Sorna's coastline 140 kilometers away. Desperate for food, it decides to trust its instinct and follow its nose. Now, even in our 1 in a million scenario, 140 kilometers is probably still too much for even the most athletic of T-Rexes to swim in one go. So it would need to rest from its swim by finding driftwood or raft debris. Considering this is immediately following a hurricane, storm-driven driftwood and debris might actually be abundant in the surrounding area. And hurricanes,
but would it be smart enough to use it, is the question.
Could help drift Grizzly where it needs to go. The closest body of land is Isla Peña. Once it lands here, it could explore the island, get some easy kills, and then it would have a relatively easy time island hopping to eventually land on Isla Sorna. It would be exhausted, starving, and near death, but once here, he can regain his strength, and with an entire island populated by dinosaurs to feed off of, he'd once again come to full power, which is where we're going to leave our accurate Tyrannosaurus Rex. He not only survived Jurassic Park, but now he has a place to roam without electric fences, with enough food to keep his belly full, and has found a new kingdom to rule over. Although it does come with some opposition, but I think
other
Tyrannosaurs
Tyrannosaurs
its own video. Make sure to check out today's sponsor, War Thunder, to blow up some.
And that is a hopeful future. Hope you guys liked that reaction. Hope you guys, if you did, be sure to like, subscribe, all that jazz to become Lucky Ammonite today. And as always, I'll see you next time. Yeah, bye. And with that, video done, let's go ahead and have a look at
Today on Go.
Alright, let's see. Oh! This guy right here, Nickelraptor, has actually been making Marius a parody out of the Lion King. And instead of the Lion King, it is the T-Rex King. And he has animated the sauropod graveyard. I did not watch this, but I know it's gonna be good. So let's get right into this. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Links are in the description. Let's go in there. Nickelraptor! Hello. Thank you for the introduction. Now let's have a look at the scene. I actually wonder if there's gonna be a full movie off of this at the end of this journey. We'll just have to wait and see, I suppose. And book one. The Sauropod's Graveyard.
All right, it worked.
They're fluffies.
I'm a genius. Hey, genius, it was my idea. Yeah, but I pulled it off. With me. Oh, yeah?
Easy now, you little vision. Oh!
Pinja.
With just a foot. Yeah. And Pinja again. You know, I actually like the fact that they got the same color scheme as the lions. Just walking in. Oof. That's gotta be a titanosaur.
Whoa.
So many sauropods dead. Is that a Brack?
Creepy, yeah. Isn't it great? We could get in big trouble. I know.
Oh, you have no idea.
I wonder if its brains are still in there. There's only one way to know. Come on, let's go check it out.
Oh!
The only checking out you will do would be to check out of here. We're way beyond the boundary of the Pride Lands.
Look, Banana Beak is scared.
It's Mr. Banana Beak to you.
Oh, there's
right
Zazu.
now we are all in very
real
real danger.
Danger? Ha! I walk on the wild side. I laugh.
I bet you do, Simba. Oh! Oh, that's new. Okay.
Well, Bonsai, what have we...
Okay, we cooking. Look at that. Woo. Okay, you got the feathers flipped up here. You got... Ooh, look at you.
I don't know, Shenzi. What do you think, Ed?
Oh, look at you.
A trio of trespassers.
Ooh.
By accident, let me assure you.
Okay, that's cool.
Navigational error. Whoa, wait.
Uh-oh.
I know you.
That's a foot.
Boss's little stooge.
I love that detail that she's using the foot instead of the front paw. Oh, that is a beautiful touch. Oh, and you can even see the big claw. Nickelraptor, you have cooked.
Madam, I'm the king's majordomo. And that would make you...
Future king.
And those feathers are gone. That's a rat tail.
Puh, you can't do anything to me.
Can you?
We are on their land.
But Zazu, you told me they're nothing but slobbering, mangy, stupid boats.
Yeah, Zazu's like, no, don't say. Uh-oh.
My. Oh, look at the sun. It's time to go. What's the hurry? We love you to stick around dinner.
Leave the hiss.
Whatever's lying around.
Rexing around.
Make mine a cub sandwich. What you think?
A chicken sandwich.
What, Ed? What is it? Hey, did we order this dinner to go? No. Why?
Cause there they go! Whoa! Okay, so we're winging it.
I think so. Where's Zazu?
And a barbecue.
Bird hippity hop all the way to the birdie boiler. Oh no, not the birdie boiler!
Ow! That's
Why don't you pick on somebody your own size?
You?
Oops.
That is not. You're not even in the right size yet. How are you gonna get away with this? Oh! Right on the wing! Ah! Right on the wing! That's gotta hurt! Well, there goes the skin.
That was it? Do it again.
Oh, wait. Oh, there! I was expecting that! Oh! There's Mufasa!
Please, Uncle.
Hey, come on, we're gonna shut up right now.
We're really sorry.
If you ever come near my son again.
Uh-oh.
This is
That is scary! Not gonna lie.
No, me? I didn't know. No, did you? No, of course not. No.
Ed? Toodles! Wow, look at him go! And... ooh.
Dad,
You deliberately disobeyed me.
Uh-oh.
Dad, I'm sorry.
Let's go home.
Oof.
I thought you were very brave.
Well, brave is not gonna help you here. And there he is. There's the mastermind behind it all. So I wonder, what's the stampede gonna look like? Hadrosaurs? Pachyrhinosaurs? I don't know. But I know it's gotta be some kind of mid-sized dinosaur. It can't be a bunch of sauropods. But anyway, if you liked it, be sure to, if you want to support Nicoraptor and want him to continue this, go subscribe to his channel and all that. And also, if you want me to watch the whole series as of so far before this one, and potentially other segments that he's probably gonna be working on, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that jazz to become a lucky eminent today. And stay tuned for more T-Rex King. Alright. It looks very cool. Yes, it does! It actually does, Nicoraptor. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I was actually wondering if anyone was watching, because I do not have a very strong view count. Let's see. Alright, which death had the worst death in Jurassic World, in the Jurassic franchise? Well, let's find out who died horribly.
Today on Kochi Center, we will travel back to the islands of Jurassic to rank the worst animal-on-animal violence and determine which non-human creature suffered the most brutal exit in the saga. Broken ribs, bites, dislocated necks, ripped limbs, stabs. We got everything on this list.
Well, I'll tell you what's one of the most deserved. It was that fat bastard that actually caused that power outage in the first place. Yeah, looking at you, Nedry, you fat fucking whale. Sorry for my language.
Subscribe if you don't want to miss out on any of our brutal recaps and analysis, dinosaur fights, hybrid breakdowns, and more.
And also, if you want me to react to those, please leave those thoughts in the comments below and share this video, cause I need it for the algorithm!
Alright, so to begin, we will be ranking our dino kills using a simple evaluation scoring method. If you remember last time in our previous episode covering the human unalivements in the franchise,
Okay, let's see. You didn't even include Nedry! Although, wait, I think, to be fair, I think it's just from Dominion. What was that? sorry, there are so many. Let's see, Jurassic Park 3, Lost World, Jurassic World 2, Dominion, Rebirth! There it is! That's what I was looking for. Anyway, I think it was just including Rebirth as of so far, but Nedry's gotta be the most deserved. He caused all this bad disaster to happen. I mean, granted, it was kind of inevitable at some point or another, but still, I blame the fat guy!
We used a similar scoring method. Today, we'll use 3 points of criteria. Number 1, gore. That is the amount of messed up violence and spectacle seen on camera or implied to have happened off screen.
Yeah.
2, pain meter.
Pain.
Self-explanatory, but really measuring the amount of pain these poor creatures suffered as compared to the rest of the animals on the list. And 3, dino brutality. Really measuring how brutal said kill appeared on camera, or how horrible the death was implied to have taken place.
Yeah,
the final score of these 3 evaluation methods will be used to rank these kills as we proceed in the video.
Yeah, those
All
poor
right,
apatosaurs. They were genocided.
Oviraptor, Jurassic World Dominion.
That was a
Despite
quick
the
one.
mixed sentiment the audience had for this film, there were a few elements that are worth noting. One of the creatures seen in an extended cut of Dominion, the Oviraptor, was one of the poor captive dinosaurs forced to fight in the underground catacombs of Malta. The culprit, Lystrosaurus, a small but scrappy therapsid, not technically a dinosaur, that carried a pretty deadly
it
pair
was
of
a
choppers who
reptile
also
still.
contributed to the death of Delacourt later in the movie. Previously, though, the Oviraptor would find that this little fella is nothing
just
to be
a
messed
tiny
with.
little
Once
guy. It's
pitted
not
against
even- it's
each
the
other,
chick-
Lystrosaurus went straight to the neck of the dinosaur, and with one swift bite, ended the Oviraptor before the surrounding audience got comfortable.
Ugh.
This would be the first time we saw a decapitated dinosaur in a Jurassic movie, and fortunately for
It's
the Oviraptor,
literally a
it's likely that it didn't
decapitated
suffer all that much,
chicken.
since cutting the head off quickly in this fashion shuts the body down relatively fast. This, however, is still a gnarly spectacle, seeing the body of this animal is still moving, literally running around like a headless chicken. This gives a pretty high gore score of 9, pain score of 1, and dino brutality score of 8.
I mean, it was
we'll
quick.
see if this kill stays in the top 10 ranking, because there's a lot of kills we will cover today.
But let's see who...
T-Rex, Jurassic
Oh,
World Dominion.
yeah.
In the same film, this time in
Why
the
is
prologue,
it-
we are
why-
taken back in time to this...
I never understood why in this franchise T-Rex has to be bullied and sidelined for the bigger ones to get the spotlight. Come on now, have some respect. It's always... Why? Why, Universal? What is your beef?
This alternate universe, where for some reason a non-paleo-accurate Giganotosaurus coexisted with T-Rex. Now, for
Yeah,
those who
that's
for
a
some
very
reason
huge
can't handle
inaccuracy.
people talking about T-Rex getting wrecked, then, dude, get over it. In this flashback, we witness a clash of titans turned into a squash match. Giganotosaurus being clearly bigger and noticeably superior combat-wise right off the bat. This Giga sensed the ditch behind him, almost falling into it himself and gauging the depth with his tail. Grabbing the T-Rex by the neck, it's likely that this creature did either one of two things. One, the Carnosaur could have snapped the neck of T-Rex, making it yet another time the poor T-Rex suffered the same fate in the franchise. Or two, perhaps a worse outcome would be leveraging the sharp-bladed teeth to cut into the Rex's throat,
Yep, the
then
saw
letting him fall into
blades.
the ditch to bleed out and die. It was likely, however, that it could have been a combination of the two. This Rex seemingly died very quickly, given that its eyes dilated. This usually happens when the brain ceases to function and the muscles that contract the iris, called the iris sphincter muscles, lose the ability to constrict the pupils. The poor Rex falls and dies after being shoved around, cut by blade-like teeth, and thrown into the ditch. This death gets a gore score of 6, pain of 7, and dino brutality score of 6, ranking it above the Oviraptor
It was a
with
fight.
19 points. Bull T-Rex,
No, not this
Sorry,
one!
T-Rex fans, but here we have another instance where the Tyrant King
Not
failed to
this
defend Fierce
again!
Spinosaurus is
Why
an
do
animal
we have
infamous
to
for being
be
an apex predator
disrespecting
and
the
probably
Rex?
a T-Rex hunter, attracted to the scent of a T-Rex instead of running away. The way that Spino killed this T-Rex is an indicator that this fella got this down to a science. We all know what happens. Spinosaurus regains his bearings after getting bit and shoved by the T-Rex, manages to get a very good hold with the straight peg-like teeth, excellent for gripping, along with fixing the body with his grappling arms, and twists the neck of the T-Rex. This maneuver likely severed the spinal cord near the cervical region, which is how this T-Rex was instantly rendered useless and would have died very quickly in a most brutal fashion. The sound effects team in this film did an excellent job showcasing what happened internally, and the amount of twist inflicted by the Spino's neck snap maneuver.
Not much blood,
gnarly.
but oh,
This
you
film's
hear the
portrayal
sound.
and sound effect gets it a gore score of 8, pain of 4, and dino brutality score of 8. This Spino's learned method of dispatching rival predators grants this T-Rex a higher ranking than the previous one discussed, with 20 points. Indoraptor.
Oh, the impaling.
Now that we ran out of dead T-Rexes, we can move on to another, possibly more brutal kill. This hybrid creature, created from the remnants of the Indominus Rex, was a little too intelligent to be allowed to roam about, given this dude gave us one of the worst kills of the
that is a
franchise.
ghost in a
But he
mansion.
also got thrown off the roster pretty gruesomely. When confronting Owen and Macy, the Indoraptor was standing on a rather fragile structure. But right before he was going to pounce on his target, Blue appeared out of nowhere and threw the Indoraptor off balance. This wasn't going to be a soft landing. Underneath this was the skull of an Ceratops, allegedly mixed with another genus, but the point here is that this would have been the demise of the skull of an
Agujaceratops. That's a new dinosaur I've never heard of. I mean, not gonna lie, I like to call myself a dino expert, but that is a new one. I really gotta look into dinosaurs a little bit more.
Ceratops, allegedly mixed with another genus, but the point here is that this would have been the demise of the Indoraptor.
That would be a Pinterceratops right there.
Piercing the upper torso. This likely pierced the heart. This Indoraptor died within short moments of landing.
And if not, it's gonna be a painful death.
Seconds. Call it karma or just circumstance. The way this killer raptor died was pretty messed up nonetheless. For gore and spectacle, this death gets a 9. For the amount of suffering, this one gets an 8. And dino brutality of 5 for Blue pouncing on the Indoraptor.
It is pretty brutal. I mean, it's a quick execution, but it's there. But this, you gotta consider how long he's. I mean, if he's still conscious, assuming the shock doesn't come in, that's still. Ooh, those are minutes ticking.
Raptor, despite being on an unstable platform. This raptor was smart as well, and likely knew the repercussions of pouncing from this height. Pretty reckless from Blue, but it nearly paid off, just as it nearly cost her own life. Indoraptor.
That is a hero move right there.
Score of 22. Delta, Jurassic World.
Oh,
the
no!
predecessor of the Indoraptor,
Not the squad!
Indominus Rex was likely just as smart, but this one was bigger and could inflict some pretty serious damage. Some of which was inflicted on one of Owen's raptors, Delta. Except this kill was topped with something even worse. After switching alphas once again, the remaining 3 raptors turned on the Indominus.
Is that the barbecue? Is it the barbecue? Let's see, crushed here. Yeah, it's the barbecue, isn't it?
Getting thrown violently, it was possible that the raptor could have died here from the impact, but instead met with a fiery fate.
Oh!
Stovetop or something of the like. This raptor endured his final moments being grilled alive for an unknown amount of time. Any burning sensation. Cooked from the inside and out. Delta's death gets a gore score of 5, but a pain score of 9. Dino brutality score of 7 due to the violent intention of the Indominus to throw and shatter the lesser theropod. This kill ranks right below the Indoraptor's exit with a score of 21.
That was a show.
Ankylosaurus was one of the most heavily armored herbivores.
He did a fight, not gonna lie. He put up a fight
from the terrible fate that awaited them at the hands of Indominus Rex. Once again, the culprit
that
of another
Indom
kill
had to be
managed
stopped.
to not only kill but figure out this living tank. After realizing that the top part of this animal was practically impenetrable, the Indom now begins attempts at
Let's
flipping over
see.
the Ankylosaurus.
Slice right
Successful,
there,
the poor herbivore
flip
is
over,
basically
and then...
helpless. The heavy armor on its back makes it almost impossible to get back on its feet on time, leaving it helpless, handicapped, and at the mercy of the indomitable queen. The last thing this Ankylosaurus saw was the jaws engulfing its entire head.
It's not a first-person perspective.
The kill maneuver, a neck snap. We covered this already with the T-Rex, but at least the bull had the chance to try and squeeze out of the Spino's grip. The Ankylosaurus didn't. Subdued and helpless, this Ankylosaurus suffered a pretty gruesome death, with a gore score of 7, pain of 8 given the injuries it endured while slashed, and its killer rendering the Ankylosaurus helpless gives this death a dino brutality score of 8. At 23 points, this ranks at the top only for now. Pteranodon, Jurassic World. Pteranodons in the franchise have been portrayed as a species that is most dangerous in big numbers, constantly seen as creatures that harass humans, often in hordes. Every once in a while, one will fly close to where they shouldn't. Jurassic World
being
is the
able
best
to
example
pluck
of
things
this.
out of the
This
sky.
unlucky Pteranodon and opportunist
Now,
who
like
saw their young
eagles,
as a
I mean,
potential
that's
meal for
inaccurate,
later,
but
caught
that's
itself
still
in a
scary.
really nasty situation when trying to exit the water. And the culprit Mosasaurus appeared from under the water to snap its jaws shut right on the pterosaur's torso. This bite, as seen here, didn't...
Okay, let's see. Let's analyze... Let me cook on this analysis. Okay, so... The entire body itself is inside the assuming that there's a bit of an opening inside the mouth of the mosasaur, the edge of the jaw where the teeth are is completely on top of the arm bones and the throat of the pterosaur. So the throat's crushed along with the muscles that control the wings, along with the bones that support them. Ugh. The throat is not only being choked, it's crushed.
Quite immediately kill the Pteranodon, as it appears still moving as the Mosa crashed back into the water, suggesting that apart from feeling
it would naturally be moving if I'm gonna
crash into its chest cavity and wings, it would have had to endure even more violent thrashing and bites as it slid down the throat of the Mosa. Not to mention that there was a very good chance the Mosa would have snapped its beak on the way down. This gruesome and spectacular kill gets it a score of 9 for gore, 10 for pain, given that it still would have had to endure a lot more, and a dino brutality score of 6. Not too high, since this was really the only method the Mosa would have caught the pterosaur. Just being an opportunist,
it's definitely, it was a quick death.
With a final score of 25, this kill ranks in the top spots of this list. Indominus Rex, Jurassic World.
Of course, that's gonna be a drowning death.
The end of the Indominus Rex was prolonged, painful, and messy.
It was still in the middle of a fight.
The Indominus Rex had already been shot at, bitten, scarred by raptors, repeatedly slammed and stabbed at by debris. However, this still had not killed
bitten by the T-Rex.
And evidently, it was going to take something special. The Mosasaurus once again appears on this list of killers and is the only one who could have taken care of the Indom this fast, or so we think. After getting tons of teeth and jaw slammed on her neck and upper torso, the Indominus gets violently dragged underwater. This is where we are left off at. However, after further observation and discernment, we are left with the assumption that this right here was not where the Indominus died. She was still alive when dragged underwater, meaning that the Mosa either thrashed the Indominus around underwater or shook any air out of her, leaving this animal to drown.
That's a prolonged death.
The skeleton of the Indom, meaning that the Mosa did not consume, at least not the whole carcass of the hybrid. The head and upper body seemingly left intact to die from the wounds as it landed on the lagoon floor. We've covered the death of the Indom
Such
in
a
detail
waste
in a previous
of
video,
meat.
but for the rankings, we are giving this a gore score of 8. Would have been higher if we actually saw what happened, but piecing 2 and 2 together, it's clear that what happened underwater was not a clean kill, leaving the pain score to a 9 and dino brutality score of 7.
Very brutal indeed.
This list with 24 points. Velociraptor, Jurassic World Rebirth. Velociraptors made a successful debut
Rebirth?
back in 1993 while establishing themselves as the fearful and super intelligent creatures in the first film.
Oh yeah, the
literally throughout the rest
Mutadons,
the
of
franchise,
course.
Other
Yeah.
than in Rebirth, where they were underutilized
Oh,
and basically used
yeah,
as fodder.
crushed,
Quick honorable
stabbed,
mention to other raptors that
and
perished
carried
more
away.
gruesomely. Charlie getting blown up right during a point of redemption, that being after betraying Owen and turning against the humans. The raptor pair, more notably the big one from Jurassic Park, getting munched into, going limp, and then violently thrown into a skeleton that would have also shattered her own skeleton. The other raptor from Sorna killed by a gymnast who
Oh, that was a brutal kill.
And possibly
Yeah,
left
let's
to die a slow
that right here. This death, that is a horrible way to go. Ooh. Yeah, you can even see the blood where this raptor got stabbed. I mean, let's be honest about this death right here. Let's talk about this death. Okay, so it's impaled and it's still on its side and it's still conscious. A death like this could last minutes, and if it's lucky, maybe hours. And I don't know if it actually breaks up, off that position or not, but oof, my goodness. I mean, we're talking, yeah, that is permanent. Ugh, that is a shocking death.
Agonizing death or cannibalized by other fellow raptors. And
I
Echo
didn't even
also
consider
munched in a similar
cannibalism.
fashion as the big one.
Oh.
This one in Rebirth suffered a gory assault from above, ambushed and caught by surprise, and ditched by their partner.
Okay, okay, right here, a lot of bones that could have been crushed here. Maybe a severed spine. Let's see. Claws that are piercing a few organs right here.
Repeatedly gored, packed, slashed,
Yep.
and pummeled on the floor. As
Yep.
a finisher, the Mutadon violently ripped the raptor's throat, leaving its limp body to bleed to death as it was carried away to be further consumed. If it wasn't for this intervention, the raptor would have sent Xavier to our top 10
Yeah,
human kills
he would
list.
not be a
Because of this
boyfriend
gnarly
anymore.
portrayal and hard pummeling, the kill in question gets a gore score of 8, pain of 10, and dino brutality score of 8. Yeah, we saw
Now,
this thing get
let's
wrecked
see.
from
That'd be a 26.
finish on screen, so this score of 26 places it at the top. We're getting close to finalizing this list, but we do have a few that didn't quite make the top list, but are worth bringing up.
Yeah.
Going back to Jurassic World Fallen
Oh,
Kingdom,
yes.
one of the sad,
The
horrifying
volcano.
deaths was that of this Brachiosaurus.
No!
Well, really, the entire
Not the
surviving lot of
Brachio!
dinosaurs left on
No!
Newgrands, R.I.P. Baryonyx, who was probably left
No!
here. But this Brachiosaurus, left to asphyxiate in toxic fumes and burned to death from inside and out by breathing and being exposed to hot ash, not fun.
No.
Sounds bad, but a reason why they didn't make the main list was because today we are focusing on animal violence. Let's not
Okay,
forget
makes
this
sense.
incident during Nublar's volcanic disaster. A subduing...
Let me guess. It's the Apatosaurus. It's the Apatosaurus. I'm calling it right now. It's the Apatosaurus.
Bite from Rexy inflicted on the Carno, followed by a stomp on the neck. Now, admittedly, it's not 100% clear whether or
No,
not Rexy killed
I don't
this
think
Carno,
that was a
but
death.
likely
It was
perished
still
after such a
alive.
wound, or getting caught by the incoming burning ash. Now we'll return to our main list and see if any kills manage to rank even higher. The Apatosaurus.
There, I
Jurassic
knew
World.
it!
One thing that we repeatedly emphasize
that
on the channel is
genocide.
that sauropods in this franchise are honestly severely nerfed. No other instance in the franchise proves this more than this scene in Jurassic World. As Owen and Claire look for Zack and Gray, they stumble across a gnarly crime
it would have
scene.
been
The
minutes,
scarring and
probably.
bloody wounds made it clear that it was Indominus Rex who managed to bring down these sauropods. But it wasn't just one, it was a whole herd. This massacre likely took place extremely quickly, given that these Apatosaurus Giganotosaurus are still in close proximity to each other and not scattered over a wide range.
That's
the pools
horrible.
of faint but visible blood, disturbed landscape means that this Indominus violently mutilated these animals, knocked them down, and left them to die in agony. What brings this kill to the top ranks of the list is the fact that this wasn't just a kill, it was a cold-blooded massacre. Painful
and it was all for sport.
Because the Indominus didn't even take a bite out of any of them to eat. This gives it a score of 9 for gore, pain of 8, and dino brutality of 10 for killing
Big
for sport.
time!
At 27 points, these kills take a top spot in our ranking. There is, however, one kill from the long past that might still surpass what we have seen so far.
Oh.
Gallimimus, Jurassic Park.
Hold on.
It may have been a while since we've seen this kill on screen, but it's one of the only kills in the franchise that portrays how messy a T-Rex bite could be. As Dr. Alan Grant and the accompanying children try to make their way back to safety, they get caught up in a Gallimimus stampede that ends up being interrupted by the ambushing T-Rex. Yeah, the cries of despair.
Yeah.
Poor Gallimimus as he gets the wind
I mean,
crushed
that's
out of
just
his lungs
nature.
is only the
It's
beginning.
nothing
It's worth
personal.
noting
It's
that
just
T-Rex
food.
does have enough biting force to bite this lesser animal and turn it into a pulp. More messy, but instead here the T-Rex takes a smaller bite from the Gallimimus, seemingly ripping the upper back, practically filleting the already dead dinosaur. It would be some
okay, yeah, let's see. The foot is completely crushed the head, and it's tearing bits off of that side there. And it's implied that it's still eating. So...
before we saw this much dino-on-dino violence on screen. That is, seeing flesh getting ripped off another dinosaur.
Yeah, that's
Tim's
gory.
comment reveals that this got
So
even more
much
bloody.
blood.
This underrated kill makes its way to the top ranks of our list with a gore score of 10, pain score of 9, and dino brutality score of 9 as well. Ripping the back off a dinosaur is nasty business. You may have noticed that in today's episode, we already have 11 dino kills on our list, with Oviraptor getting bumped out of our top 10, with the T-Rex death at the risk of getting bumped out as well. But will it? Up next is Giganotosaurus, Jurassic World Dominion.
That is,
Both
yeah,
in the
that's
literal sense and
that is
circumstantial,
gnarly.
This was one that was pretty messed up, especially since the alleged villain behaved nothing like one. And in
Yeah,
the
it was
movie,
just
the
an animal.
Giganotosaurus was doing nothing but just acting like a real animal. No vengeance motivated its interest in the human cast, portrayed as a normal predator that defended its territory, and brain zapped into entering an arena with 2 other dangerous theropods armed with claws and plot armor. After subduing
And
the
deadly
T-Rex in an
teeth,
epic
not to
brawl,
mention.
the Giganotosaurus now faced the blind Therizinosaurus, an animal with especially dangerous claws capable of one-shotting an equally menacing rival if struck on the right spot. After Rexy recovered, the movie made the implication that despite being physically inferior to the Giga, Rexy still had a lot of smarts left in her. Leveraging the pointy object on the opposite side of the ring, the T-Rex pushes the Giga right into those claws at the right moment, forcing the claws through the upper neck and torso of the Giga. This injury, apart from the piercing wound,
the
was
throat
also
and a few
spinal
organs,
injury,
maybe the
likely piercing
spine,
the spinal
too.
cord as well as possibly wedging between the vertebrae, hitting the nerves and making the Giga's final seconds excruciatingly painful. This wound is practically unsurvivable, and if we pretend it was, then the Carnosaur would have been paralyzed for life. The Theory drops the Giga, and we can see in gruesome...
Paralyzed for life? That's what you basically said, Goji, is you're either dead or you are guaranteed dead. I mean, you're not gonna be munching on anything after something like that. Not to mention being bleeding out, the shock. Yeah, no, you're either dying very quick or the most painful final moments of your life. Because they're the last moments of your life.
Detail how the flesh and skin grips against the exiting claws. This kill will score a 10 for gore. 9 for pain, since it also had to endure prior wounds, and feel thick claws wedge against its spine, with a dino brutality score of 10. That being for T-Rex using another dinosaur to inflict a painful and gory death. Rexy's fatal maneuver on the Giga now bumps out the Giga's T-Rex kill from the bottom of the list, giving us our final 10 most gruesome kills. This was just Goji Center's take on Jurassic's Dino
Makes
Carnage.
sense. Yeah,
Very
that
likely
is
different
nasty
from
work.
Your take. So now it's your turn. Tell us in the comments which kill you think was the worst. Subscribe and get ready to bear witness to more.
Okay, to answer that question, let's go a little recap. Where was it? I think I...
Team, skewered and possibly left to die a slow agony.
This right here! I'm actually glad you brought up the cannibalism. But look at this! You're telling me this is not a top 5? Top 3? This right here. Yeah. It's very much like the Giga. But instead of being, being instantly dead, it's still alive. For minutes at a time, long enough for your friends to completely eat you alive. You're literally eaten like a shish kebab. Assuming that the friends are actually cannibals. And if you're not, you're still dead. You're probably gonna starve, alone, and in pain. And I don't know if you're even gonna be able to get out of this situation. But I'm assuming probably not. That's my take. But, I don't know, Ammonites, what do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below and check out the links in the description. And always, yeah, that is sickening. Alright, what other things we can do? Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. If you enjoyed this... Alright, Spino mentioned what? Alright, first time chatters? Hold on, what have we got here? Let's see, G-Views, sure. Yo, hello, Gunzoi. Both physics go crazy. Spino mentioned, what is a bad dino? Yes, it is a bad dino! Death to the Spino! Death to the Spino, I say! It really is a shame that we did not get to see an actual death, but all well. Let's see. Yeah, those last couple deaths were... Oh, my, that is nasty work. That's just nasty work. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I want to go ahead and get started on making a few videos, but I am so glad you guys all came out tonight. And I actually plan to hopefully get my PC all upgraded, and so I can give you better content, more games, and more fun times. So this has been the End Guy. If you enjoyed this live stream and you want to see actual videos coming out and a few other fun things, and actually if you want me to do more live streams on more days, please leave your thoughts in the comments below on a few other videos. I do top 10s, I do parodies, I also have created monsters as well, if you are interested in checking out what I've made for the Hybrid War. And also if you even have a few suggestions for me to react to, please leave your thoughts in the comments below, and please engage into all my videos for the algorithm, cause I want to grow. In the meantime, like, subscribe, all that jazz to become a lucky Ammonite today, and as always, I will see you Ammonites at the next dive. Yen bye.